Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Monday. Uh, what's it? 7:31 Eastern Standard Time here in the States. So the markets are just getting rolling along here. Let's go. You can see the stock market seems to be very firm. Just firm, nice firm. Nothing major. Um, we got the CPI tomorrow. That's going to excite things up. And let's take a look at. There's the. What's that? That's the Russell 2000. Let's get over to the dollar index and see what the dollar is doing today. There it is. There's DXY. You see they've been pushing on that up, and up. I saw this morning the euro is flirting with the weekly sell. Real surprise there. Um, I expect to see something like that. Because of the way they've been pushing on it. But I guess they say there's a lot of nervousness about this whole action that's going on. And because of that nervousness, we're going to see markets slip back and forth and, be somewhat aggressive and so forth and so on. Hey, Robin, happy Monday. Sounds good to me. Happy Monday to us. Exactly. Exactly. Did you see snow out there or anything like that, or is it calming down now? Okay, there we are. Let's get over to the dollar on our work at the same time. Let's see, where's it at? Right. There it is. You see it climbed into the buy there last week, and it is trying to go up. The key word there is try. The impressive thing is we actually are seeing a weekly buy attempt there. 34 and clear. Okay. Yeah, we were something like that here. No, we were a little bit warmer. I mean, we got down at night like that, but during the days we got up into the 50s. So. And that does seem to be the action, but then we're in February, so things start to get warm around here again, so that's a good thing. I mean, this week it's going to be in the 50s and the 60s and sunny for a few days. So it should be nice. What else can we say about the dollar? One thing that really bothers, and let me just show you what really bothers me. I looked at the numbers as, doing the charts this morning, and I looked at the 30-year, and I thought, how about that? They're still, when these things go down, interest rates are going up. So, in other words, it's like that. Okay, right there. Are we seeing the right thing? Yeah. And you can see here, it's going down. Why is that not? Oh, it's okay. I got to move it over. Let's see if we can move this over a little bit. And that is kind of like the action of it all, really. Okay, we can go like that. There we are. There we are. And then, so, when this thing is going down, interest rates are rising. And that does have me, just a little curious, because all three bonds that we follow, they're not exploding in any way, but the trend is down in price. And when the trend is down in price, and there's the 10-year right there, same thing. It seems to be stalling out and trying to go after this low here. But what we're really seeing, too, at the same time is interest rates are rising. And that's why we're seeing the dollar even firmer. And here's the 5-year. And we're seeing the dollar firmer in this situation right there. And then when we go over and look at, say, the euro, we just had it there for a sec. There's the euro. You see the euro is flirting with the weekly sell out of nowhere. And it's busted through the manifold with no problem whatsoever. Lots of pressure. And we've been in that daily sell since here. And now we're starting to see the weekly join in. Now, this has been one long, weekly buy. It's all the way back into October. So it was down in the down in historical lows. There's the historical low right there. But the interest rates obviously are still rising on some level or a sideways chop. Metho! Good morning to you. or it's possibly good afternoon and good evening. But in the end result is that is one of the things that caught my eye is to see the bonds, the 30-year, the 10-year, the 5-year, all moving down in price, which means rising in interest rates. Rising interest rates do catch my eye. All right, let's see. Let's have a sip of tea. I guess that's enough to be said about the interest rates, and that's what's putting the pressure on the currencies. Let's see how cable looks. Where's that at? Cable. Right there. Right there. That's holding up, which is really curious. That is really, really curious. You know, they've pushed it down. It's gone sideways. You know, over the last 4 or 5 days. And I find that interesting, that the fact that it seems to be, you know, kind of steady. The whole action, in many ways, you know, with the way the currencies are right now, and the interest rates, and let's get rid of some of these lines there on the weekly. We got 3 different lines there on the weekly. There we are. You see, it's drifted underneath the weekly sell for last. This is the second week of it. Is that the second week? No, this is the third week of it, right? Yeah. So went into a weekly sell a week back, and then last week, and you know, you see it starting off this week that way with a little bit more pressure on it now, going through the bottom part of the manifold. But you know, the cable seems to be relatively firm. So are they? You know, it insinuates that they're buying dollars and they're buying cable. Interesting. All right. From there, we slide over to the Swiss. Let's get that up on J4X too. Let me just show you the cable, since we just had it up there. Where are you? Right. Nope. Much further up. Right. There's the cable. So you can see the same thing there in a sense of a triangle. It's tightened up over the last 4 days, staying inside. This one was interesting that they popped it the way they did. And now let's take a look at the Swiss franc. See what the Swiss is up to. Right there. And the Swiss perking its head up, also showing a little strength. But the good thing is we're seeing this green line breaking down, so maybe, you know, the Swiss is going to be neutral out of it all. No pun intended. You know, in other words, not go anywhere. And that's the way it does look. Look at that. You know, it's down for the day, still in the daily buy from Friday, but it is down for the day. And the weekly, let's put that daily in there like that. And the weekly is going on a second week of selling, you know, just softly. Just, again, it's a plateau. There's nervousness about the CPI coming out on, I think it's tomorrow's CPI, and I think it's Wednesday or Thursday, retail sales. And these things really reflect what's going on in the economy on a fundamental basis. It's nice to see fundamentals have some influence again on these markets. Now, there's no doubt, we all know, that the central banks run this whole thing. But it seems to be, at this point in time, the U.S. Central Bank. And, you know, it has a lot of other countries frustrated. Not the major currency countries themselves. You know, it's like Russia and China, and then whoever they can collect up in their gang of BRICS, whatever they call them BRICS. It's kind of like Brazil and Russia, India, China, and then South Africa with the S on the end. So these are not exactly exploding strong economies, you know, like on a rocket shot because they're doing successful things. They're doing the opposite. They're doing economic things that hurt their currency, hurt their economy, and they just see, like, if we can only get away from the dollar, then we can do more harm to our own economies. Which is one of the strangest things to have to say out loud. It's enormously strange, you know. But that is what it is. In the end result, we've talked about it here. Currencies will do what their countries are doing economically, and that's why, you see the BRICS really having problems with their currencies. They're all in a shambles to a great extent. China doesn't float its currency; it's fixed by its government. Basically, Brazil, it's almost impossible to get a quote in it. South African rand is falling against the dollar. The Russian, currency is trapped inside its political maze of conquest and invasion. So I mean, it's not exactly like they're like coming up with better chips, faster chips, cheaper chips, better cars, more food, abundantly, producing lots of food. None of those positive things are happening in those countries, and so you have to just wonder, how long can they go on doing that to their populations? And I guess long as the population can't get a grip on it, or as they can't stop it. Now here the yen, you can see the yen has been perking up the last couple of days. Also another little push on the upside. Nothing big, but you can see here this week it is flirting with the back to the weekly buy again. It's going weekly buy, stalled, went into the weekly sell last week, and now it's trying to do that weekly buy thing again with us in a daily buy of I think that was a sell, and then it jumped back into the buy there. So I think that's how that played out. So we should put that in there, and we should put that in there like that. There we are. Now I don't, I'm not looking for any real explosions in this thing, because I think, again, it's the fundamentals, and they're really fighting to get the fundamentals, functioning. That's what it really comes down to, just functioning in general. And what I mean by functioning is the inflation, the interest rates, the production of food and fuel, all the things that people use every day. And we have the same problems here in the States. We have a government that, the President of the United States has no interest in increasing the amount of food around or increasing the energy necessities that are there. Instead, they fall into some odd category of, we don't care about the population type of attitude. All right, and then let me do this too. I put the little circly thing because it's showing some real strength here. That's the odds are very high that this product is going to close on a weekly buy this week. Right there. There we go. Let's see what it looks like over on J4X. Right there. You see that, that strength also kicking out. Today, it's pushing up. And let's see what the weekly looks like on J4X too. Right there. Yeah. Pushing up, up, and up on a second week of it. Interesting. And you can see that line is turned up. And it's really trying to, get rolling. All right, let's bring that down like so. And zip there to there, and that is the yen. All right, from the yen, we slide over to 2222. The Turkish lira. I heard that they're arresting like building contractors and all kinds of just all kinds of people are getting arrested over there for the way the buildings collapsed. Nope, not there. Let's try that again. Right there. There's the Turkish lira. You see it's still moving down against the dollar on a weekly basis. Let's put it over here on Chicago. there. You see that pressure. Kind of interesting. You see the daily again making an attempt to try to get going. We got a red dot though, and it is a little bit higher than where it closed on Friday. But you can see here the weekly is not caring, not whatsoever. You know, the fast-moving algorithm has been under, and the green line has been trapped and down near the bottom for, this is going on a third week, and you see that pressure from it. Right there, it just keeps on moving down. Alrighty. Then from there, what else can we say about any of this? I guess we put the daily up there just to take a quick look. And there it is right there. You know, all that weakness. Same as all the weakness we've seen here. But it's still in the 20 zone. The interesting thing, all-time high is right there. Right there is the all-time high. So, you know, I mean, it would make sense. You would get, as we would refer to it, like a dead cat bounce. You would expect to see this thing slide down a little bit, take some profits, being at all-time highs, and then having all that capital flying into the country now. I understand billions have come in to help out. So, you know, with all those combined things together, you would think the Turkish lira would show a lot more strength, and it's doing it. It's trying its best. It is trying its best. All right, from there, we look at the CAD and the South African Rand and the Mexican Peso. They're the last three we look at here, unless someone wants to see something. It's kind of a quiet Monday. People are like, I'm tired. I'll look at it later. Not now, later. And you can see the CAD is in a daily sell now for a second day. Friday it went into the sell. It's pressing down a little bit today. That's normally a sign that oil is going up in value. I didn't see that. Kind of a little surprising. And you can see we are trapped still down on the downside here with both the fast-moving algorithm and the slow. They're just kind of cruising along and just barely trying to break out on the upside here. Just barely. I'll go over to, let's see, where's it at? Let's find that. Oh, I know what it is. We want to look at gold. So let's take a look at gold. I'll put it up on the screen here. And right there. There's gold. And it's sliding down. And it shouldn't be, in other words, when the Canadian's moving down, usually gold is moving up in value. Because when the Canadian's moving down against the dollar, it means it's gaining against the dollar. Not happening today. Let's see what it looks like over here on J4X. And there's the gold. No, that's volatility. Not there. Where are you, gold? Oh, there it is, right there. You see all that weakness on the daily. Pressing down. Same as what we were seeing over here on Chicano. Right there, same thing. Pressing down. In fact, I guess, we had a green there. That's why we didn't have a sell on that one. Okay. And that's the pressure we see. Now, let's see. It closed in a weekly sell last week. Let's see if they just kind of zigzag down in here for a little bit and then try to turn up again, or that, once the Lunar New Year is over with, a lot of times between the Indian holiday and the Asian holiday, that the metals have a tendency to top out a little bit in there. So we'll see what kind of, do they take it back down to the 18s? Do they cruise around in that zone instead, like around here, around the 1850 area, like 30s and then 50s and 70s and back and forth? We'll see. But at least we got the strength we looked for back in September. It came. They popped it up. Unfortunately, silver didn't do as good a job. It's been tough for silver. All right, let's jump over to the South African Rand. Oh, wait a minute. I showed you gold. I'm supposed to show you oil. That's it. There it is. There's the oil. And so oil is up. So it's matching up with the Canadian. That's what it is. There you go. That makes more sense. You see the strength in the oil, and you're seeing the strength in the Canadian dollar. There you go. I know something didn't seem right there. And then now we'll go back to gold and look at the South African rand. Let's put the South African rand right here. Right. There we are. And you see that strength in the South African rand is not, I mean, it's matching up now to the let's just show you, matching up with the gold as we saw. Gold is moving down. South African rand has been moving up. It's taken out the political problem high. In other words, it's getting worse. Whatever's going on over there, it's getting worse. And we see no news on it. And if anybody hears anything that's going on in South Africa, let us know. And then let's show you what it looks like over here. There it is. You see South African rand. That's where the political spike went from when they found problems with the president. Their president, not ours. Everybody can find problems with our president, no doubt. You can see here that strength in the currency, or losing value. That's what that is. Strength in the sense of the dollar firming up against it enormously well, and we've been in that weekly buy from here. And that makes this is a weaker currency now because of it all, and it never got down into the 14s with the action we saw on gold, solely because of the politics, and that's why we have that labeling up there: politics, $500,000 in cash. And you can see that box where those 2 days when that happened, it freaked out the currency enormously from the 16s. Excuse me, all the way up to the 18s. And now we're taking out those highs right there. All right. And we did look at the gold. We'll just show it to you one more time. And there's the gold doing the opposite reflection of it, heading down. All right, and now we'll go over to the Mexican peso, and that should finish us off in the currencies, unless someone decides they want to see a currency pair of some form in our work, in our opinion. And you can see here we are still flirting with that 1.61. It's a full 100 and 2/3, and this shows strength. When this goes down, it's gaining against the dollar. And we're seeing a lot more strength in the Mexican peso. Usually when they see a strong American economy, they usually rally the the Mexican peso. And that's exactly what they're doing. So the peso is like literally a barometer of action in the United States. And that's what we see, we're watching for it a whole bit. What are they going to do? When are they going to do it? Why are they doing it? So forth and so on. And so at this point in time, that's exactly what looks like is going on. I'm just looking for something in the bag as we speak here. Not there. Okay. I'll look for it later. Maybe right there. Nope, not there either. Okay. Alright, now we move on to... We can go on to the metals from here. Take a look at silver. See what silver's up to. There's silver. Boy, doesn't that look exactly like the South African rand, Same type of action. Trapped in this plateau from the news in December, and it has not. I think silver took it harder than gold. That's the amazing part. Because gold kept on climbing. When we look at gold kept on climbing in that same time period. That's why we say that the South African rand is really undervalued. Because it should be, it should have been rallying, or let's say selling off from the I guess you'd say the 15 area, not the 17.5 area. So it's like, what do they call that? It's risk inflation. That's what they call it, risk inflation. So in other words, there's news, there's policies or something's going on in that particular product, and they refer to it as the risk inflation. All right. From there, we'll take a look at copper. Copper has been heading down. We had a little pop here for a day or two, and now it's trying to head down. You see the weekly is being flirted with, and at the same time, the daily was down this morning, but it is popping up at the moment as we speak. And let's take a peek at what else is on there. Oh, let's take a look at that. Besides that, you see the weekly here like that. So let's see what the copper looks like over here. Let's see, as I chew a piece of gum. Copper right there. The pressure's on it, and we got, it's in conflict with itself in the sense that this fast stochastic is moving up, and the product is moving down. There's only like one green out of it all. And it just rolled right back over again. And that is the daily. Let's see what the weekly looks like. And there it is right there. Last couple of weeks, the pressure has been on it. we over here on Chicago Quant, you can see that the fast algo went under 3 weeks back, just like here. And you can see the slow algo is just punching itself down from literally the plus manifold to the minus manifold in one day. It's very bearish. Very bearish. All right. Now, from there, we dance our way over to, let's see, we take a look at the platinum. Where is it at? Platinum. Right there, April platinum, and it's been falling from the $1,125 area or $1,113 area, that is right there, down to $950 at this point. And we are also, this thing right there, you can see right there, it pierced, the fast pierced, what's that, 5 weeks back, and the slow pierced, in between here and here, 4 weeks back. So this has been a very good guide to what they're doing with gold and silver. And it's been falling hard. And then we have one we can look at. Also, we have palladium at the moment. Let's see what the palladium's up to. And there it is right there. That's the March palladium. Same situation, moving down from, well, in this case here, the 2000 area all the way back in here. And that was in mid-December. To now to 1,536. That's a 20-some-odd% drop. That's pretty big over the month and a half. Or I guess it's 2 months, or it's almost 2 months now. Middle December all the way to middle of February. 2 months. A lot of pressure there. You see it broke here. They both joined in together, and it was like smash. And it kind of stalled. It couldn't get going for a while. And then finally, it pops here, and then the following week, it drops again. Right into the sell again, right there. So. All right. Now, from there, we move over to, where do we go from here? Let's see. We go over to the energies. So let's see what the energies are up to at this point. When is January? Yeah, they're talking about January producer price. There's a lot of information coming out this week that will juice the Federal Reserve, or bump the Federal Reserve, I guess you could say. All right. From there, we go over to, we've seen what March crude is doing right there. Let's see what Brent is doing over here. Right there, there's Brent. That's the weekly. It's trying to perk up. We perked up over here last week. It's flirting with the sell again. Right back into that sell. And you can see here the green fast moving stochastic breaking down. And it's at the middle of the range, no less. You know, it's not at the top of the range. But there's the 80s, and it's doing it down here in the 50s. And then over there we'll put the daily in. Right there, there's the daily. And that daily has been showing strength, just like ours has been showing strength. See, climbing up from the low 70s to literally hit 80 last night and Friday in the spot contract, or the March contract, which will expire at the end of this week. And you can see there it's trading at 79.47. 48's just traded. And then we go to here and look at the May contract, a couple months out, and it's trading at 79.84. So it's almost at parity with each other. We've seen about a 60 some odd cent premium. Let's just double check that again. No, I'm sorry, no, 50 and 84. So it's a 35-cent premium in the back months, which says more that it's a delivery thing more than anything else. In other words, people up front don't want to take it, which is kind of odd. Mr. Biden says he wants to buy it. He's been selling it at this price. He wants to buy it back. All right. And then from there we go over to Nat Gas right there. Nat Gas is flirting with the daily buy today. It's been in the sell for a couple of days. And, look at that weekly. We've been in a weekly sell since literally the first week of December from the $6 area. And the product has gone down to $2.50. Over 100% drop in price. Now over here you can see the same thing. Right. There it is right there. That's the American $2.49. And then we go to the Spanish company. This energy company in Spain that gives us at least a general idea. Been trading around the 25.90s to the 26.20s area, and there it is there, back to 26.20s again. So the pressure is on the upside again in Europe, and for us it's just sideways and down. We're flirting with a little daily buy thing, but I mean, look at this over here. We went into a sell here back in later December in the $5 area on a daily, not counting a weekly, but a daily. And we just finally, a week ago, got into a buy for a day, fell right back down into a sell. Right there. And, there's a lot of pressure on the price here in the States because we have so much of it. And I believe we're taking it out of the ground and shipping it to Europe to try to smooth everything out over there. But the prices themselves are just like $26 a cubic foot when we're paying $2.50 a cubic foot here in the States. It's got to be one of the most enormously insane arbitrages I've ever seen. You would think that it would close up over a 2 or 3 month period at least, or a 2 or 3 week period. 2 or 3 day period, but this thing's been going on for months upon months upon months. So, all right. I guess the best way to describe it. Let me see if we can see. There we go. So there it is. There's the energy company in Spain, and you see it got up to the 30s here in August of last year. And so it's like 7 months ago, and it's fallen down to like $22 a cubic foot. And now back up into the 25s, 26s, that type of thing. So, whereas when we look at the American natural gas, which supposedly is a very high quality, we do it cleaner than anybody else they claim. You can see here, it's fallen from the $10 area all the way down to $2 area, $2.33. 800% drop. Not an 80% drop. Not an 8% drop. Wow. All right. From there, Let's see. So there's the nat gas. So what we can do is we can go over and take a look at the stock indices, get a flavor of how the stock market's on, and we can look at the VIX, and we can look at. I understand that the Congress is getting together to talk about cryptocurrencies and how to stop like what happened with FTX and so forth, which might be putting a little pressure onto the cryptos today. We only pay attention to Bitcoin, and I keep an eye on Ethereum, and we watch the coin exchange on the equity side. So we can take a look at all those. So we'll start off right with, let's go with the S&P 500 right there. And the S&P is lifting up. Now, we can show you on the intraday, it's perking its head up, went into the buy right here. And it's been pushing up. And, that's the action we're seeing here with it. And this is a much smaller increment of it. So this is, what is that? That's like 18,239. It's a bunch of Teslas. And then this one is like, I think this is like 9 Teslas. So this is a 1,600, I believe it is. No, it's 786. A Tesla is 396. So it's like 2 Teslas. This one's 2 Teslas. You see where it goes into the buy right there. That's the second one, right? Yeah. So right there, it goes into the buy right there and just runs up from the 05, 04-ish area all the way up to the 15 area. So, the stocks here are kind of moving in a positive direction. Let's go over to and let's put that up on J4X too. So we'll go like that, and we will go like that. You can see that there, and then let's put it S&P up over here. You see, it's not gaining speed yet, but it will soon. It's the Hinky Ashkies do that. It takes a little while for them to catch up. You can see we're bottoming here too, right there. We're doing a bottom that's trying to break through on the upside there. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Should be green for a bunch of weeks. Yep, see right there, just like ours. It's at the top end of its range. It's having some issues, and then you can see here. Same thing, we've been in the buy. You can see our fast went into the buy back in literally the first week of was it the first week? No. Yeah, first week of January. Down in the 3,800 area, and it's run up to the 4,200 area. And now we're doing a little weakness here. You can see we're in a daily sell for 3 days there. So, and today they are trying to turn it up. Still needs to get through here, and we've got a green and a red and so forth and so on. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin and see how it blends with this type of action that we're seeing there. Put it up over on J4X on a daily. Let's see. And you can see this is the S&P right there doing that same type of move on a downside. And that bottoming thing going on there. And then there is Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Bit. Where are you? There it is right there. This thing is high as, I think it was up as high as, 24 and change. Like 3 weeks back. Now we're with the 21.6 area, so it's dropped $3,000. Overall, it's been a nice move from the bottoms of the 16s and 15s. And this is the Sam Bankman thing and the FTX thing. And then we go over here and put it up on Chicago Quant. And there's no doubt that cryptos are like a combination of currency and asset. You see the same rolling over going on right there. Matter of fact, it was even holding on tight. It's 3 days in the sell, just the same way as the S&P 500 was doing the same thing. It was rolling up, and then finally about was that 5 or 6 days ago, it gets into a sell. How to get in the sell? We've got a red and green there, so it basically goes into the sell right there. We can get rid of that. I can move that over like so. So you can see here it's trying to press its way up. Oh, maybe that's, no, that's, didn't realize we have a red and a green there. We'll have to double check that. Let me put the line back in there. That'll make me remind me to take a look at that, like that. And just put the green back in here like so. There we go. What else can we say? Let me just double check that with the numbers here. Yeah, so that went minus. Problem is we had a red and a green, so we're gonna have to double check that action and see if we can find, go back to the exchange chart and see what they have there. I'm gonna do that right now, actually, since it's kind of a quiet day. No one's asking any questions, and I might as well be efficient. I might as well be efficient. Right there. So let's put that in there. There's the overview. Let's get that in there. There's the S&P 500. And the answer to that is, what date was that? That was on the 6th. Okay. There's the 3rd. So let's see what the 6th looks like here. There's the 6th. I see. They got the wrong high, and they got the wrong opening. What else do they got wrong in there? The wrong low. Do they have the wrong close also? 2350. This is showing. Where's the 6th? They're showing 20. No, the close looks relatively well. 2325. And the exchange has it as 2350. So, I mean, that's all right. So, one out of the 4 parameters is healthy. So, we need to fix that. We'll straighten that out while we're here, unless someone has a question about something. Let's see, where's it at? Right there, CME. Let's fix that. Right there. Load. Okay, what do we do here? Okay, we'll put the daily in there like so. And then let's load that up and see if we can fix that. So, okay, right there. What date was that again? The 6th, was it? It's like last Monday. Yeah. Let's see if we can fix that. There we are. See if that wipes out the dot too. Because we had that in a plus. I mean a minus, I guess it was, for a day. Now the high, yeah, let me fix that high too. That high's all screwed up. There we are. Let's see. The low, I think, was right, was it? Was the low right? Yeah, the low was right. The settlement was basically right. Okay. There we go. No, the low was wrong. Let me fix that too. Okay. Now let's see how it adjusts. Yep, there's no green dot. That's what that was right there. That's exactly what that was. Okay, good. We got that fixed. Might as well do it while we're here. No reason to play with it. So it went into the sell there, and then right back into a buy, and it was just a failure. A real loss for a change. Got to do that once in a while with the 8.5 out of 10. And we document it right there. And then, for a couple of days it gave you a chance to get back out again, but really barely any profit to it. And now you can see here they're trying to turn. We'll see tomorrow. That news should do something in a more interesting way. And then, did we get the Bitcoin up there? Let's see if we can get the Bitcoin up there now. Let's go back to the Bitcoin. Bitcoin right there. The March contract. And doing the same thing. It's doing that rolling over thing. And you can see the fast has broken underneath. And the slow is doing the same. It's on the edge, just 2 points. And the product itself is down about $300, I think it is. Something like that, $200. I saw it plus for a while. I seen it minus. You know, it vacillates back and forth in there. All right, now from there, we zip over to the Tech 100, something we haven't looked at, but it was very strong this morning coming in. So let's take a look at that. This is the, you know, the index that has like literally every, let's put it this way, the majority of companies that are part of the modern era. You can see here like the Amazon and Google and Facebook and Tesla, Intel, Microsoft, Apple, you know, all those things. Amgen, you know, it just goes on and on of all the majors. And there it is right there. You can see, you know, it's been breaking down the last couple of days, and we're seeing that pressure. We're at the bottom end of its range, of course, but it's still that pressure. And right there. Same thing, 3 days in a sell. And it's acting much better than everything else today. The Dow is also plus. So I guess you could say all three stock indices are plus. You know, the Dow is up 33 points, and the S&P is like up 10 points, and then the Nasdaq is up 57 points. So they are showing strength in all the currencies. Even the Russell's up like 3 points. So there is some pressure on the upside there. All right. Then where do we go from there? Yeah, Bitcoin now is up $55 even. So it's, you know, they're all trying to perk it up. You know, they're all trying to step up a little bit in here. Where do we go from here? We'll take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's see what that's. Oh, and then you know what? Let's before we do that, let's go take a look at coin. Take a look at the coin exchange. And that you know, it's that one's well managed and doesn't have all the hoopla that FTX had, which was also an exchange, but they really abused their powers, and that's why they're having issues now. Let's see. Let's put that in there. Let's see, right there. File open workspace. Let's see, what do we got there? Right there. And this is the coined exchange. It's an equity. There's matter of fact, there's Apple. You can see Apple's in a daily buy since back here at the lows, back in January at the beginning, just like the other indices, you know, like the stock indices. And you can see the weekly, same situation, you know, just running very comfortably, you know, in a weekly buy from all that point. Stock went from the 130-ish area to the 157 or 58 area, something like that. What was I looking for? Coin. There's coin right there. And it's doing the same thing as the stock indices, as you can see when you look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average or the S&P 500. Let's do that. Let's put the Dow in there. Not there. Right over there. There we are. And there's the that's the Nasdaq doing the same thing, has that rhythm, just as coin does, right there. You know, same rhythm. And let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average over here. Right there. And you can see it's sideways and just kind of cruising along, but has that same dip there a couple days back last week. Put the pressure on it, and you can see today it's in the plus, trying to fight its way up. And at the same time, you can see the weekly is really flirting with the sell, much more than the other two. We can go back and I see we got two of those. So what is it there? Which one should we turn off? Turn that one off? No, just go like that. There we go. So you can see here. And let's widen that. It is flirting with the weekly sell. Let's move that up. And here's the zero line. It's all over the place. Look at it. The weekly, fast moving weekly is above, just on the edge of going minus. Right there, it's plus 36. We've got the slow green at 116 down. It's just jumping all over the place there. It can't get a grip on itself. And then, what were we looking at? So we were looking at the coin, and we see that the cryptos are showing, I wouldn't call it strength, but they definitely seem to be outperforming in the end result. They do seem to be outperforming the stock indices, and it doesn't seem to stop it. They don't have the cryptos are like the anti-central bank product. That's what it really comes down to. They're anti-central bank, and so the buyers can use that product to move currency without the central bank influencing it, or the buyers or sellers. They can use it as an international clearing. They can use it as a stock index. They can use it as a currency on some level. All of those things. It's an interesting tool. And I guess as long as we have irresponsible government, you're going to. And what I mean by irresponsible government is they let their central banks just roll, and do things that allow the inflation to. They come around and they tell us things like transitory. Don't worry about it. Inflation was at 1.5% under the last administration, and they let this administration just spend money by keeping the rates down and not basically telling them in Congress you got to stop spending, because that's what the problem was. It's all the spending that's made the inflation kick up, and so spending not on the essentials, spending on windmills or something like that have. I understand Europe is ripping them down and cranking up the coal fire plants and the nuke power plants now, and saying, geez, I guess wind and solar is not going to generate, save people's lives, whereas the others do. So, all right, what else can we say about that sector? I guess nothing. That's it. And I guess we'll keep an eye on this and see if the Dow really tries to start to roll over. So we've looked at the NASDAQ, and let's take a look at the Russell. The Russell is like the old. It used to be like the Tech 100. All the speculative companies. Those speculative companies have succeeded. They've grown. They've become, arms of the economy. Literally parts of the economy. And you can see here the Russell came down off the 2000 area, down playing with the 1900 area. It's the fourth day on it, and you can see the battle going on. And at the same time, you can see the weekly down in here. Right there is, the fast had jumped up, and the slow joined in with it pretty quickly, and that strength went from the 18s to the 20s, or in this case 1800s to the 2000s. So that strength is still there. The only one that's not reflecting it is the old stocks, I guess you could say, the classics. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has some of the most modern companies in it. Without a doubt, they're all the leaders. That's why they're in the Dow 30. So you have Microsoft in there and Intel, which are NASDAQ stocks. You have Apple and Cisco Systems that are NASDAQ stocks. You have I'm trying to think who else is in there. You have Amgen, a NASDAQ stock. And I'm trying to think who else is in there. There's one more in there. There's like 7 of them that are, almost 1/3. Let's put it this way: at least a quarter of the Dow Jones Industrial Average is NASDAQ stocks, and they're major ones. Oh, Apple? Did I say Apple? So, it says a lot about the index. It's changed its complexion or characteristic, its way of measuring the economy, because now we have companies that do that, whereas when we look at the Russell 2000, they're aspiring companies to try to do the same thing in the future. They're very low capitalized. I think someone's chirped in. One of the biggest in there is about, which is like the biggest in there, I think, is like $11 billion company in capitalization, which is big. I thought the top was supposed to be $5 billion, but I guess that's what it is. And I think the low end is $500 million or $250 million, something like that. So the NASDAQ is definitely a sign and an indicator when speculative money is running into the market. And it is showing it, from all this action here. You see all this action from the lows of October. It's gone from the 17s or 16 and change, 1660 low, so mid 16s basically, to the low 20s, which is, you're talking about a 20 some odd % gain from its lows. All right. Anybody else have a question there? If not, we'll get out of here. We'll come up with a title too. We got to come up with some type of title. Today is like, we could call it like everybody's tired from the weekend or something like that. That's what it feels like. Everybody's tired from the weekend. So, all right, traders. This is Doc from North America. We will catch you all on Tuesday. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Arrivederci.